A lovely good evening to you all watching Camnet television. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present the main news tonight. And our top stories in the news: police nab 35 people for disorderly conduct. MAAMBA Collieries reduces routine maintenance period to cushion the current power deficit. CSAWUZ urges government to stop politicizing the civil service. In international news, Zimbabwe to become the new African agricultural powerhouse. And in sports news, MOURNS mighty and KK11 legend MULALA allegedly killed by his own dogs.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, downlights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
On 9th January 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts the FTD President, Madam Edith Nawaku.
Why are we poor? We have resources. Why are we poor? We are poor because we like to govern from the center. The challenge is that Zambia is mapped as mineral rich, but we don't know the value of what is there. We've just been scratching on top.
As they discuss a positive look at the economy of Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages.
On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello again, another news in detail. Residents of Garden Compound in Lusaka have urged the Zambia police to continue with random inspections in the community, which has led to the arrest of gang members locally known as junkies who have been terrorizing them. In an interview with Camnet News, the residents have complained that they have been forced into poverty because properties in their homes have been stolen by the same junkies. One of the residents, identified as Lydia Daka, says some community members are afraid of starting businesses in fear of having their businesses looted by the criminals. And the Zambia police Saturday afternoon rounded up 35 people aged between 15 and 25 believed to be behind a spate of attacks on members of the community in Garden Compound. More in this report.
This has been the hiding place of about 200 youths in Lusaka's Garden Compound, both male and female, who have allegedly been terrorizing residents of this compound through their criminal activities. Community gangs, locally referred to as junkies, are common in most densely populated communities in Zambia, as many youths are known to be jobless, hence resorting to abusing drugs and carrying out various criminal activities. It was at this hideout that residents of Lusaka's Garden Compound say the Zambia police rounded up a number of the said criminals Saturday afternoon under its operation of curbing community crime. Residents of this area say they took it upon themselves to demolish a house here about 1 week ago, which the gang members were using as a hideout, leaving them to sleep in this open space.
Nyumba tinaipwanya papita 1 week pamne tinaipwanya. Kaibezo gona manomu muchinyumba doko enzeli beso benzo sta oro bantu abashitashani atayira manomu muchinyumba so se tinachipwanya naona ti bakaba kuja bwera manomu muchinyumba so ise tinachipwanya chinyumba.
Pano ndi pano bavutira majangi pano pa area. Bativuta balendi wonse sibankalapo ni nyumba yapongozi banga banataba Valendi sivankalapo batava sitipita sitichita chiviri vonse batava majanki fulu vana vang'ono pepa fwaka naise manje tinankhala okolewa na fwaka tupepa tonse twamene muona apa tonse ni fwaka eka yonse.
Irodi imapitisa vantu vambiri kuchoka ku Kaneri kuja ku Olympia kapera vachoka kuma industry ku Nchito wabwera antio kuchipata compound uko. So vantu sivankala free i road kafoni ukankana kafoni so sinkala kumanja
watu katika kafoni utopotea kwa che mbama kafoni batengo bae. So at least government imetandikira mwena bwera mairo ipitilize njito ya kiso chape.
One woman, however, feels the operation is not fair, alleging that even innocent people are being rounded up, as her grandson, whom she sent on an errand, is also one of those who was arrested.
Vanagwiriwa olese watu wanagwiriwa enze pano namutuma pakona hapo natikandetere ndrama kuli wankongo anamugwirira pamosi. So apa amayi wakaenda ni mzukuru amayi akapa akonka ku polisi namailo lenze kwa na explain anamvera kapokola tili mwamene kaita ntenzo wagwira tikapeza ni vambiri so vanyamata ni valinkezi lenze kugwira.
Meanwhile, Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale has explained the operation.
And this operation was conducted yesterday, January 7th, 2023, between 10 hours and 15 hours. 35 of them were picked, and among them 4 were found with cannabis. We have since engaged the Drug Enforcement Commission to make sure that these are scrutinized and charged accordingly.
He has further warned the criminals of the full wrath of the law once convicted. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And the Zambia Police Service has arrested a 28-year-old man of Meanwood, Vana area in Lusaka, identified as Steve Mwemba, after his vehicle ran into a man who died on the spot along the Greatest Road in Lusaka Saturday evening. In an interview, Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale explains that the accident happened when the unidentified victim, aged between 30 and 35, was crossing the road near Natural Resources Development College, NRDC, when he was hit by the oncoming vehicle. Mr. Mwale has therefore appealed to members of the public who may be missing a relative to visit Levi Mwanawasa Hospital mortuary to identify the body of the deceased.
Recorded the road traffic accident which occurred near Natural Resources Development College, that is NRDC, where one unidentified male aged between 30 and 35 was hit by a vehicle, a Mercedes-Benz, registration number SCR 500. This individual died upon arrival at Levi Mwanawasa Teaching Hospital. This body is still unclaimed. We appeal to members of the public who would have lost their relative, please to contact the police or the hospital. We have detained the driver and has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving.
Residents of Lusaka's Kuku compound are being forced to draw water from the Ngwenya Dam due to lack of clean running water in the community. Kuku compound chairman, identified as Michael Kaposa, says lack of kiosks in the area has been forcing the residents to look for an alternative source of water, which is now posing a serious health risk to the residents due to contamination of the water. Mr. Kaposa has since called on government to consider constructing more kiosks as well as fencing off the dam to avoid people from dumping dead bodies in the dam. More in this report.
The dam in Lusaka's Kuku compound has remained a subject of great concern as it has continued to be used as a place to hide criminal activities such as murder. With the current water challenges being faced in the area, community members have now turned to the Ngwenya Dam to do their chores such as washing and bathing. And Kuku compound chairman, identified as Michael Kaposa, is however concerned on the health of his community members and has called on the government to consider erecting more kiosks in the area so that the residents can have enough running water.
As I'm telling you right now, we only have one kiosk from that side, and the other one is just there. And people from this side, as you can see, there are people that side, even people from that side from Mississippi, they also use this water for washing. Who knows, maybe they even use it for bathing. So that's where maybe the government can come in also to help us with some more kiosks around this place.
And Mr. Kapusa also says despite the many complaints that were aired to the previous administration to have the dam fenced off, nothing has been done, and is now hopeful that with the coming of the United Party for National Development UPND into office, something will be done to prevent the dam from being used for criminal activities such as concealing murder and a dump site for waste.
I'm sure it's not new and everyone knows that you have been losing lives here, and maybe what we can just ask from the owner, because we are told the owner has bought this thing, this dam. So maybe what we can ask from the owner is just maybe to fence it like they have done at Bluewater. Maybe that would be safe for our children and the people around the site. And mostly that, well, what I can say is you would find that the people mostly that come to die from this side, maybe they are just thrown in, they come from somewhere else, they're killed from somewhere else.
For the residents of this compound, they continue living in fear of their children drowning in this open dam and still remain hopeful that the government will one day come to their rescue. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Traders at Mtendere Market in Lusaka have bemoaned the poor state of the road stretching from Mtendere Police Station to PHI residential area. In an interview with Camnet News, the traders have called on the government to quickly work on the road, which has caused business at the market to come to a standstill. They have highlighted the importance of the economic road in that Mtendere Market is where most traders in Lusaka come to order agricultural products from the farmers. Meanwhile, Mtendere Ward 34 Councillor Boniface Chibeka says the road has been earmarked for construction in 2023 by the Lusaka City Council LCC. More in this report.
In countries like Zambia, where the informal sector makes up over 70% of the country's labor force, places like markets are one of the most common sources of income for citizens. The deplorable state of some economic roads that connect markets to places of production or to communities where most of their customers come from has always been a cause of concern for traders, especially during the rain season. This is the case of Mtendere Market, where a stretch of road leading from Mtendere Police Station to PHI residential area has not been worked on for many years now, despite its deplorable state. Due to its bad condition, traders here say that business has been slow as both motorists and pedestrians are hard to come by as many avoid the road.
Bwino mamotoka siyayimirira koyimirira kulibe bantu kuti bajumbe matika bula kulemana cha kulibe so business yangitamanga bwera ku pansi kuno kwatu kulibe drainage mami mvula ikayamba manzi yangena pali ponze mayati mwa bantu but vote tunaponya kuli ba president batu ba MPs tuwaziba kwatu kuno bakansera tuwaziba mami ona ngonjero tinokomweka ona ni tema tiamu
so mamotoka yakanga kuti aende fast mamotoka yaenda slow so muda mkwenda slow ngati muni katundu majanki wakwera mwamene muda bambo chosa katundu ya bantu makamaka bankuku ngati bapita kaikamba karodi kuonongeka baenda slow so bachosa nkuku ili yonse motoka pita na vintu na machinese mabara vose anasiyana bachosa mamotoka masimenti kamba kaonongeka road motoka ikengo kuti ende fast yenda pangono.
Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Mtendere Ward 34 Councillor Boniface Chibeka has assured of better times ahead in 2023, stating that the road has been earmarked for construction by the Lusaka City Council LCC.
No, that one is under Lusaka City Council. They are the ones who are going to work on it.
Okay.
And they have really, my understanding is that they have given a contractor to work on it. Starting from police, from Mtendere police, all the way up to PHI.
The traders, however, remain pessimistic, stating that it is only when they see the road being worked on that they will believe, as similar promises have been made in the past. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Chakunkula Ward 23 Councillor Chimuka Njomona has advised the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to consider amending the application form for skills bursaries. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Njomona says his office has received a number of complaints from community members that the form being used for the application of skills bursaries is complicated, making it difficult for those who have not attained the education to understand. He says amending the application form will encourage those who have been discouraged by the process to reconsider their decision to stay away from applying. And Mr. Njomona says his office has received complaints from the church that they feel left out in benefiting from the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
I think an outcry that has been brought to our attention is that the forms that are being used to apply are quite complicated. Therefore, we call upon the relevant authority, of course the line ministry under the Ministry of Local Government, to look at this issue and make sure that we see to it that we revise or improve it to make it easy for our women and youths, especially those that have not attained any education, to be able to use these forms, which in turn will help them. We further ask that going forward, we've also received concerns from the church around who are a vital stakeholder in our community to be included in the CDF program. These are organizations or churches that will help also mitigate in terms of moral standards in our community. So all these are things that we are working on, and going into 2023, ours is to work for the people and to make sure that we deliver, and especially we don't leave anyone behind.
President Hakainde Hichilema has urged management of MAAMBA collieries to look to another time for carrying out maintenance works to avoid the disruption in the supply of power. Speaking when he visited the coal-fired plant in MAAMBA Southern Province Sunday, Mr. Hichilema says he has noted the facts on the table, but that people's livelihoods should not be disrupted due to bad timing. He says his government has not shunned away from the power challenge, which has resulted in over 12 hours of load management, hence calling on all stakeholders in the energy sector to offer solutions with hopes of generating about 10,000 megawatts in the near future for the current population to be sustained. Meanwhile, MAAMBA Collieries Chief Executive Officer Lieutenant Colonel Cyrus Minwala says ZESCO and his institution are working hand in hand to cushion the challenges being faced now.
MAAMBA Collieries in the heart of Southern Province is the second largest power producer in the country. It produces about 300 megawatts of power and contributes about 216 to ZESCO's main grid. Now, since its routine maintenance, which are done twice a year, this time around it has reduced its power generation to 150. This has led to the increase in load management by the power utility company ZESCO. Late 2022, ZESCO announced a 6-hour load management schedule. But earlier this year, with only less than 10 days in 2023, it has increased the load management schedule to 12 hours. This development has angered many sectors, especially those who deal in small and medium enterprises. Stakeholders have raised their voices on this, owing to the fact that President Hakainde Hichilema, during his time as opposition leader, made a clarion call every time he touched the podium to say, once given an opportunity to be in government, he will end load shedding. This has prompted him to move out of his comfort zone to come here in MAAMBA to ascertain exactly what is happening. Yesterday at State House, he convened a meeting with energy sector players where he wanted to ascertain the reasons why MAAMBA Collieries goes for these routine maintenance works, and specifically at this time of the year when the water levels are low.
To MAAMBA, accelerate the work you are doing. I repeat what I said, an extra hour saved, bring the asset into full production is key. Can save a child on oxygen in a hospital. Because if power went off, the oxygen machine will go off if there's no standby power, and we could lose a life.
President Hichilema also touched on the rumors that are circulating on social media that MAAMBA Collieries has reduced its power generation due to the date owed by ZESCO. He says the two institutions have reached an agreement and business is going on strong.
Our first call is the domestic market demand. It's the people of Zambia. But the very people of Zambia require jobs, those who are not employed, and hence we have to export. It's a question of balancing the two. They are both necessary.
During the same meeting, Energy Regulation Board informed the gathering that maintenance works here at MAAMBA Collieries have reduced from 16 days to at least a minimum number to ensure that generation of power is restored to full capacity. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, MAAMBA Collieries Power Generation Plant in Southern Province.
Thank you, Sharon Kalimbula, there with that report. Government has obtained a readiness package grant amounting to $445,000 United States dollars from the Adaptation Fund to facilitate the accreditation of Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank ZICB to the Adaptation Fund. Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Communications Officer Chiwaula Sulamba says the grant will strengthen the capacity to access climate adaptation finance as well as the overall capacity to develop and initiate implementation of concrete projects and programs that increase the resilience of vulnerable communities to the impacts of climate change. Mr. Silwamba says Zambia has instituted a process to access climate financing from the Adaptation Fund for the first time, adding that the nomination of ZICB for accreditation as a national implementing entity will increase the chances to accessing climate financing from the Adaptation Fund.
This far, Zambia has not had an opportunity to access financing from the Adaptation Fund, and it is on that basis that the government of Zambia, through the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, and in particular the National Designated Authority, started the process of engaging the Adaptation Fund through an entity in Senegal to ensure that one of the Zambian institutions, and in this case the Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, be accredited to the Adaptation Fund. The Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank will then be a vehicle through which Zambia will be accessing resources from the Adaptation Fund. It will also provide the necessary support to other entities that would like to access resources from the Adaptation Fund. So the grant that has been secured will go towards giving the Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank the capacity for it to be better able to serve the interests of Zambian institutions and the Zambian people at large, for us to be better able to adapt to the changing conditions of climate change.
This is Camnet Television. We take our first break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
In our quest to serve nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
It's Butters back to school with a bang this January 2023.
Save more kwacha with amazing slashed prices on all Taffy school shoes at Bata. Enjoy school shopping with a wide variety of assorted merchandise such as school bags and socks. Bata also has in stock white and blue school shirts for your school uniform shopping convenience. Visit your nearest Bata store countrywide and get back to school for January 2023 in magnificent Taffy style. Bata Taffies, built to last, built for life. T's and C's apply.
On 9th January 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts the FTD President, Madam Edith Nawaku.
Why are we poor? We have resources. Why are we poor? We are poor because we like to govern from the center. The challenge is that Zambia is mapped as mineral rich, but we don't know the value of what is there. We've just been scratching on top.
As they discuss a positive look at the economy of Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with our news. The Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia has urged the United Party for National Development UPND administration to consider depoliticizing the civil service by allowing civil servants to rise through the ranks to key government positions. In an interview, Union General Secretary Makai says the continued appointing of politically affiliated persons to positions such as of permanent secretaries is demotivating civil servants who have been in the system for a long time awaiting promotion. He notes that if the status quo remains the same in future appointments, this may lead to selective development, as some citizens known to belong to other political parties will shun away from visiting some government offices. Mr. Makai has therefore noted the importance of ensuring that public officers remain neutral so that all citizens feel welcome regardless of their political affiliation.
Zambian citizens do not wear a cape of this MMD, UPND, Patriotic Front, what. The only cape they have is that of a Zambian, and they want a service from this country, from these offices. Now, if these civil servants are going to be partisan, one, I would say that people will start fearing going to these offices to get a service. Two, people who have the courage to go to these offices might be mistreated by these cadres who are in these offices sitting as permanent secretaries, who are in these offices sitting as heads of departments, who are in these offices sitting as directors. So that's why we are looking forward to a political free civil service, a non-partisan civil service whose job and responsibility is to implement the policies of the party in government, the party in power, implement it to all the citizens of the country, to all parts of the country, without any choice, because they are entitled to their country. So this goes to the appointing authorities. In as much as they want to appreciate those who campaigned with them, in as much as they want to appreciate those who funded them, but when it comes to civil service, those appointments should be void of political affiliation.
Republican Progressive Party, RPP, acting President Cassius Akapelwa has urged the United Party for National Development, UPND alliance partners to work together and offer timely advice to the head of state on various national issues in 2023. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Akapelwa says times to stand idle without offering any advice is long gone, as there is need to approach the country's development with aggressiveness. He has reminded UPND alliance partners that their goal is to support the head of state and not to become bitter just because some of them have not received any appointments.
We have the leader of this country, in this country, and the leader at this moment is President Hakainde Hichilema. He gave us hope for 2023. So what we are expecting from the UPND executive is that whatever that was broadcasted on that day, the Zambian people took it as a matter of hope. So we are very hopeful that 2023 is coming in with a lot of economic turnarounds. So we are I'm urging my fellow entrepreneurs to ensure that they position themselves, they strategically position themselves, and make sure that you seize those opportunities that the government is offloading, especially at community level. As you might be aware, that the CDF has been taken to the communities. What is it that you're doing that you can seize that opportunity? So it's very important and imperative enough that those that are into business, can you benefit from this money, the CDF money? Because this is your money, this is our money. And those students, there's a component under CDF where bursaries can be offered to you. Can you seize these opportunities, because this is your money? So what we are basically saying is that this money, the decentralization process has gotten straight to a common man in a community.
Chiefs Moyo and Hamaundu of the Tonga people in Pemba district have given land to government for infrastructure development in the area in line with the district's 5-year integrated development plan, IDP. Zanis reports that the land is meant for the establishment of the Central Business District, skills development institutions and sub-towns, among other infrastructure development in the district. Chief Moyo says they have released the land for infrastructure development, which will benefit people of the district. And Chief Hamaundu said development was inevitable in the new district, hence the move to release the land. The two chiefs made their pronouncements following separate interface meetings at their respective palaces with Pemba District Council Chairman Kingston Handindo, Pemba District Commissioner Obey Habenzu, and Area Member of Parliament Lamek Hamwata. And Pemba District Council Chairperson Kingston Handindo thanked the two chiefs for the gesture and assured them that the onus is now on the local authority to start implementing its plans. Meanwhile, Pemba District Planner Gift Mwetwa disclosed during the meeting that among the salient areas in the plan is to develop local areas, which include 5 satellite sub-towns within the district, which sits on the traditional land. We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with international sports news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti for your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
On 9th January 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba as he hosts the FTD President, Madam Edith Nawaku.
Why are we poor? We have resources. Why are we poor? We are poor because we like to govern from the center. The challenge is that Zambia is mapped as mineral rich, but we don't know the value of what is there. We've just been scratching on top.
As they discuss a positive look at the economy of Zambia.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, Zimbabwe has registered its largest wheat harvest in 2022, amounting to 375,000 tons, making the Austro-African country a self-sufficient agricultural powerhouse. With 375,000 tons of wheat harvest registered for 2022, Zimbabwe is set to become a self-sufficient agricultural powerhouse, a unique performance in Africa. The harvest in 2022 was 13% higher than the previous year, breaking a half-century-old record. In other international stories, the 46 Ivorian soldiers pardoned by Mali's junta leader returned home Saturday night. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Zimbabwe has registered its largest wheat harvest in 2022, 375,000 tons, making the Austro-African country a self-sufficient agricultural powerhouse. Their harvest in 2022 was 13% higher than the previous year, breaking a half-century-old record. The state has set a policy of distributing fertilizer and buying crops via the Grain Marketing Board, which has won over farmers. The country no longer needs to import to meet requirements, saving up to $300 million in costs. In the current context where African countries are suffering from the absence or high cost of Russian and Ukrainian wheat, Zimbabwe stands out for its proactive policy. The 46 Ivorian soldiers pardoned by Mali's junta leader returned home Saturday night. After their plane landed at 11:40 p.m., the uniformed soldiers disembarked one by one, each brandishing a small Ivorian flag. They were greeted by President Alassane Ouattara before entering the presidential pavilion at the airport where their families were waiting for them. I would like to express on behalf of the entire group our deepest gratitude for all that has been undertaken for our return home. I am delighted to see you back on Ivorian soil today. We're happy for you, happy for us, happy for your families, and happy for our nation. With the pardon and the return of the troops, tensions between the neighboring countries are calming down as President Ouattara wishes to move on from the diplomatic spat. Obviously, now that this crisis is behind us, we can resume normal relations with the brother country of Mali, which needs us and which we also need. The Malians are our brothers. The soldiers had previously been detained in Mali since July 2022 and sentenced to 20 years of prison for conspiracy against the government until they were pardoned.
It's now time for sports news. And now in sports news, on a sad note, the Football Association of Zambia has joined the rest of the football family in mourning former Mufulira Wanderers and Zambia national team star Philemon Mulala. The former KK11 star died in South Africa after reportedly being attacked by his own dogs. Mulala was notably part of the 1984 East and Central Africa Challenge squad under Colonel Bright Banda that won the trophy. FAS General Secretary Adrian Kashala says the football family had lost a gallant soldier. Mr. Kashala says the country remains with wonderful memories that the late Philemon honored the country with on the pitch. To end Camnet television news, the headlines once again. Police nab 35 people for disorderly conduct. MAAMBA Collieries reduces routine maintenance period to cushion the current power deficit. CSAWUZ urges government to stop politicizing the civil service. In international news, Zimbabwe to become the new African agricultural powerhouse. In sports news, FAS mourns Mighty and KK11 legend Mulala allegedly killed by his own dogs. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from Philippians 4 verse 6 to 7. Don't worry about anything, but in everything, through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses every thought, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Thank you once again for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.